Hello, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Morgan Merrill coming to you live for a Why Wednesday. I'm just changing it up a bit. I know I've been doing a lot more Talk About It Tuesdays, but truth be told, I was pretty busy yesterday seeing clients and doing a training for a new device that I have that I'm super excited to share. So once I get trained on that, I will definitely be sharing more about that. But so I didn't have a chance to hop on yesterday, and it doesn't really matter. It's my channel, my show, my whatever. So I thought I would come on and do a Why Wednesday. And so today I'm going to be talking about why you would use benzoyl peroxide versus why you would use salicylic acid, because I've been open now, officially back treating clients for about a week and a half. And of course, one of the number one things that people are concerned about is their MaskNE, which is, of course, the new term for breakout activity that is in the area where we are wearing our masks, which we are having to wear due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So everywhere we go, we have to wear a mask, right? So that, as I've talked about on another episode, is can cause some breakout activity, irritation, etc. on the skin. So how do we treat that? What do we do? And the best, there are lots of different little tips and tricks, which I have talked about in a previous video on how to kind of take care of that. But today I'm really wanting to just talk about the products that I mentioned in that video, which was benzoyl peroxide versus salicylic acid. Okay, so these are two ingredients or two ingredients that are usually in products to help treat breakouts, acne, oil, blackheads, whiteheads, etc. So when and why would you use one over the other is kind of what I'm going to talk about today. So benzoyl peroxide is a ingredient that is very common in treating acne, and this is great for those good kinds, the ones that I love that I have to leave alone, but the big red pustule breakouts, the more cystic breakout, benzoyl peroxide is good for. It is the ingredient itself helps kill the P bacteria that is found in those big pustules, papules, the big inflamed ones. So benzoyl peroxide is great to kind of combat that bacteria and dry out the oil and sebum that is found in those big pustule, red, inflamed, cystic acne lesions, okay? Salicylic acid is a vitamin A derivative that is found in a lot of products to help control oil and sebum all over the skin. Okay, so you might ask, when would I use benzoyl peroxide? When would I use salicylic acid? My answer to that is you would use benzoyl peroxide to treat a big lesion. Okay, so if you have more of that cystic acne, or I get a big lesion, around that time of the month, you're going to spot treat it with benzoyl peroxide. Benzoyl peroxide is a lot more drying than salicylic acid can be. So you would not want to put that all over your face, because usually the benzoyl peroxide benzoyl peroxide is targeting that bacteria. So you really want to just keep it focused on where you actually have the cystic breakouts. Whereas salicylic acid, even though it does tend to dry out the skin, it is not necessarily meant just for spot treating. Can you do it? Spot treat? Yes, but benzoyl peroxide is definitely better at that, because it's going to combat that P bacteria that is found in acne lesions. Salicylic acid is more for those blackheads, whiteheads, like the little guys, the congestion that you might find, the dirt, the oil, the debris, the sebum. Okay, so it is going to help control oil. It's going to help kind of clear out those congested pores. And, you know, it is found to kind of help combat, never mind, I don't know where I was going with that. So, salicylic acid is meant for all over the face. Benzoyl peroxide is just meant to spot treat a breakout. So, for the more MaskNE, I would recommend benzoyl peroxide, because these are more or less just what I'm seeing are more larger lesions, so spot treating that area. Now, not to say you can't put salicylic acid over this area as well, but I would not do both. That is going to be overkill, and you do not need to do that underneath the mask or in this area. Then you're going to have that reverse effect where everything's going to be so dried out that it's going to start overproducing more of what you don't want. So even though, like I mentioned in a previous video, wearing a mask, you know, you do have a lot of moisture in this area. You are spewing out a lot of bacteria, and it's just kind of coming back and sitting on the skin. So I understand you may want to keep this area super dry and dry it out, but an excess of anything is going to have a reverse effect. So you don't want to use salicylic acid and benzoyl peroxide all in the same area. Now, if you wanted to spot treat with benzoyl peroxide for a couple of nights and then go to salicylic acid for a couple of nights, that's totally fine. But I would not slather benzoyl peroxide all over my face and salicylic acid. So, or if you wanted to do benzoyl peroxide in, you know, some big areas, and then maybe salicylic acid if you had a lot of congestion on your nose, that might be an option if you did want to do it all in one treatment or day or night. If you are using any type of salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide, you still need to wear an SPF, because especially with salicylic acid, it's a vitamin A derivative. It is going to, it's not a vitamin A derivative. It's going to, they both cause a lot of sensitivity and irritation to the skin, and they thin the skin. So you want to make sure you're protecting that barrier, you're protecting your skin. So be sure to still wear your SPF when you are using these products, absolutely, because you can hyperpigment as well. And first and lastly, do not pick. Oh my gosh, I know it's so bad, guys. Confession, I had one here and I picked it last night, and it was so wonderful. It was orgasmic. It hit the mirror. It was like one of those good kinds. But try not to pick, because then you will scar, and I will probably have a scar here forever. But I try to tell myself it's because I know what I'm doing, but you know, I'm still gonna scar. So I hope this helped kind of just kind of shine a little bit more light on the difference between salicylic acid and benzoyl peroxide, and when and where to use both ingredients. These are ingredients. They can be found in a lot of different products. Usually if it says the spot treatment, it is going to have benzoyl peroxide, and usually if it is for kind of an all over type product, it's going to have salicylic acid. So I hope that helped. And if you guys have any questions or want to come in for a consultation or treatment, you can always DM me, send me a message, or I have all my booking links in my bio. So hopefully I see you in my treatment room very soon. And if you have any questions and you don't maybe want to come in, or you don't live in the area, that's fine too. Send me a message, and I'm always happy to help. If you have a question about products, ingredients, treatments, anything, send me a DM, and I'd love to share with everyone, because I'm sure lots of people have the same questions as you do for a Talk About It Tuesday or a Why Wednesday. Okay, guys, have a great night, and I will see you next week.